So hey, welcome to the 10-10 movement. You're here with myself, Tony V, and our outcome is to help you with areas of your life where you may be struggling and turn that into more success. What we call living a more 10 out of 10 life experience. Now, today we're going to be talking about an area of life or something that happens in all of our lives that gives us massive challenge and gives us also massive disconnection with other people. And I'm going to share with you one incredible way to diffuse the pain of this situation. And that situation is the feeling that we get when we are being blamed by somebody else for pretty much anything. So think about it. When were you feeling the feeling of being blamed last? When were you being blamed for something? Whether you did it or whether you didn't do it doesn't really matter. What matters is that you had a feeling of being blamed. What happened? Now, there are three things that normally happen. And the first thing, when somebody blames you for something, our sort of human reaction, or it's like the collective human reaction that we've come to respond to any form of blame with, is, I always call it, we have a shield of defense. It's like we go automatically into defending ourselves. But then we have what I call the sword of justification. And what we normally do is strike back. We justify why we're wrong. And then the third thing we normally do, and you just check in with yourself here, what we normally do in defending and justifying is blame them. No, it's not my fault, it's your fault. So they then experience the feeling of being blamed as well. Now, let me just share something. In the world of consciousness, it's a big word, in the word of consciousness, that's the experience we're having as humans, the conscious experience we're having. Blame is like at the bottom. It's like the worst thing that we can experience, along with shame and humiliation. These words, blame, shame and humiliation, are like at the bottom of the pile of human experience. But look, I've asked thousands of people this question when we're doing speaking gigs or when we've been talking at our own events. I always ask the audience, and you can join in with this, I always say, put your hand up, so pop your hand up now, if you like being blamed. Well, my guess is you won't have your hand up, because honestly, no one in the history of my 20 odd years of doing this has ever put their hand up saying that they like being blamed. But what's the truth? When you're in some sort of disconnection with another human, are you inadvertently blaming them? So just know that just like you, they don't like being blamed. And when we do blame and we get blamed back, there are no winners. Everyone's a loser. And if it's in an intimate relationship or a relationship that, in your family, something very close, maybe with your children, your parents, your siblings, all of these people, when there's blame involved and you're blaming each other, then there's like a little gap appears in the relationship with that person. The trust goes down and the gap gets sort of forever bigger if you consistently and continually keep blaming each other. And in an intimate relationship, obviously we always say you can't choose your family, but you're stuck with them for life. But in your intimate relationship, what tends to happen is a gap starts to grow between you. And every time there's a little bit of blame, there's like another little bit of the gap. So it's like, and we are permanently doing damage to this relationship, or any relationship that is based around the foundation of this lowest experience that the humans can feel. So I said I was going to share with you an answer. Now, what blame is, it's what I call, it's like reactionary. Somebody blames us and boom, we're there with our shield and our sword, like in a millisecond, blaming them back. So what's the opposite of being reactive is being what we call proactive. And here's my question for you. If there was a word for you that described the opposite to blame, what is the opposite to blame? So just think about it. Maybe make a little list. For me, there's only a couple of 3 words, but what are those words for you? Now, whatever that word is, for me, one of my words would be forgive. Forgiveness is a very high consciousness word. So if blame is at the bottom of the pile of human experiences, forgiveness is right up the top there. It's a very high level of consciousness. So instead of reacting on autopilot with throwing blame back, imagine just taking a second and forgiving. Yeah, just forgiving. Now, people will say to me, yeah, but why should I forgive them for that? But trust me, when you try it on, then you have a different experience. And from that different experience, when you come back from a position of forgiveness, then everything changes. Another great word would be to be understanding. So often when somebody's blaming you, they are at a very low ebb when they're doing that. So if we were to understand in that moment that they're at a very low ebb, instead of reacting, we might proactively go, look, hey, I hear you, I understand. You see, suddenly you're in a different energy than, well, you said that, so I said this, and boom, we're in now disconnection. What you do is you're sharing understanding, forgiveness, even love will be a great word. These words are diffusers of blame. And instead of creating a gap between you, they start to heal the wounds of the past. So literally, if a big gap's grown between you, notice first how blame is part of your relationship, and notice what happens when you blame them back, and then try on this new thing. Instead of being reactive, be proactive with maybe love, understanding, or forgiveness, or any other word that would equal the opposite of blame, and just use that. So look, that's it really. How to stop the blame game, how to get moving towards in a more connected, loving, healing way than doing the damage of what blame causes, which is, a constant pounding away at your relationship, which eventually, if it's an intimate relationship, will get to breaking point. So if you're new to the channel here, then welcome, and please do, if you've enjoyed this video, do hit the subscription button and the notification bell, because it will tell you when a new video goes up. And we have over 100 videos here, which are sort of what we call personal spiritual development, and so I'll pop a couple of those up at the end, so feel free to go on to the next one, or go into the the channel and have a look through and see which ones might help you. If it's helped you and you know somebody that's really struggling right now, obviously feel free to share it as well, because literally if you try this on, you will get a different result, which will make you and them feel better than you were before. So that's pretty much it from me, Tony V. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.